It's dark, it's late, and there's some hesitation to pushing the start button on your next digital nightmare. Do you really want to play this game alone? We've all been there. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Just like the greatest scary movies are better to witness with others in the room, so are some of the best terrifying video games.
Sweet Sebastian Bach, I want to play.
Millie, you signed in yet?
I'm here.
All right, let's boot it up.
PT Silent Hills. Released only in demo form, PT was a mysterious new spook fest crafted by the pseudonymous 7780 Studios. Players were dropped into a seemingly innocuous hallway that repeated on a loop, while a spectral woman laughed and chased them through her home. Radio transmissions recalled murderous events, a fetus talked to players in a bathroom sink, and then things got really weird.
His 6-year-old daughter had the good sense to hide in the bathroom.
Early players were thrilled that there was a new horror game coming to the PlayStation 4, and PT earned more fans when players learned it was actually hype for a new Silent Hill game from the minds of Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. Unfortunately, Konami and Kojima Productions parted ways before Silent Hills could be completed, and this demo is all we ever got. Siren: Blood Curse. A 2008 reimagining of the cult favorite Siren series, Siren: Blood Curse is an episodic narrative told through the perspectives of half a dozen different characters. Players find themselves in the middle of an ancient ritual, complete with sacrifices, the undead, and nightmare creatures straight out of a Junji Ito manga. In addition to being crazy scary every time a new creature appeared out of thin air with its soulless, bloody eyes, the episodic nature of Blood Curse makes it perfect for binge playing with friends. Dead Space. Developed by EA's Redwood Studios, which went on to become Visceral Games, Dead Space is a brilliant third-person action horror game that terrifies players from the moment they step foot on the USG Ishimura. As engineer Isaac Clarke, gamers go head-to-head with the Necromorphs. These creatures were once human, but were infected by a massive ancient spire that seemingly has a connection straight to your worst visions of the monster in the closet. Not only are Necromorphs nasty creatures, they have to be dismembered in order to be vanquished. While it's a great and innovative video game mechanic, it makes every encounter a white-knuckle battle.
Security detail.
Layers of Fear. Bloober Team's Layers of Fear is an unexpectedly chilling delight that follows a disturbed artist as he tries to complete his masterpiece. Players have to explore his home to discover how to finish this painting and uncover a great mystery as the story progresses. Layers of Fear isn't chock full of monsters or things trying to kill you, but it's an eerie experience, loaded with scares. The painter protagonist goes more than a little bit mad, and his artworks are horrific and violent affairs that would give anyone staring at them goosebumps. Exploring darkened halls of a Victorian manor never felt so tense. Until Dawn. Originally conceived as a PlayStation 3 game with a heavy focus on move controls, Until Dawn finally hit the PlayStation 4 in 2015, with Hollywood stars like Rami Malek and Hayden Panettiere appearing in the trope-filled slasher. All of the gameplay is pretty simple, with QuickTime events making up the bulk of interactivity, so even more casual gamers could get in on Until Dawn without feeling too pressured to perform. What's more, failure doesn't result in a game over, but instead just leads down another path towards one of Until Dawn's numerous alternate endings. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Eschewing the familiar third-person style the Resident Evil franchise was known for, Capcom instead went with the first-person experience for Resident Evil 7. As if that wasn't tense enough, the PlayStation 4 version features VR support, meaning you can be fully immersed in the world of the fantastically freaky Baker family. As everyman Ethan Winters, players travel to the creepy Baker homestead in an attempt to find your missing wife. With set pieces inspired by The Thing and the Saw movies, and a dark mystery to uncover at the heart of it all, you've got a game that seriously writes the course of a once wayward franchise. It's also very hard to play when the sun goes down.
Does it want to be my daddy? Then he can die.
Silent Hill: Shattered Memories. As a reimagining of the original Silent Hill, Shattered Memories puts players back in the role of Harry Mason as he searches for his daughter after a car crash. Armed with only a flashlight and his cell phone, Harry must solve puzzles and explore the abandoned depths of a snowy town, while also dealing with being transported to the alternate nightmare dimension. There's no combat in Shattered Memories, so you can only evade Silent Hill's monsters, or else find yourself trapped forever in the nightmare realm. If all that isn't creepy enough, the game also incorporates the Wii controller to act as a cell phone, with messages and calls coming through the device's speaker, all a little too close to home. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Set in the 1800s, Amnesia: The Dark Descent puts players in the role of an amnesiac named Daniel who must escape from the depths of an old castle. Oh, and Daniel must also manage his sanity by not spending too much time in the shadows and dark, otherwise he hallucinates, making his escape that much more difficult. The audio and visual cues that creep into Daniel's mind makes discerning safety from real danger nearly impossible. With terrors becoming more visceral the longer players spend on the wrong end of sanity. Uncovering the truth behind the horrors increases the tension, but also gives players a reason to keep going even if they're absolutely out of their minds. Or are they? Bloodborne. A great deal of horror games focus on mythic undead monsters, but Bloodborne's Lovecraftian influence gives it a much more creative creepiness. There are very few games that feature bosses as uneasy on the eyes as the blood-starved beast Abritus and the One Reborn. At least with Lovecraft, you know you're getting a tentacle monster or two. Bloodborne's bosses scoff at such simplistic nether gods. If you don't have 65 skulls popping out of glowing orifices, each with their own mutated baby brain, you aren't tough enough to make it in the land of Yharnam. Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.